Everyone thinks Muzan Kibutsuji is untouchable. The perfect demon, the immortal progenitor. The mastermind pulling the strings behind centuries of bloodshed. But he's not invincible, not even close. And today I'm going to break down everyone, from twisted prodigies to cosmic gods who could rip through Muzan's immortality, shed his regeneration, and finally end the king of demons once and for all. Not just with strength, but with strategy, with ideology, with power that warps reality itself. Because if you think no one can kill Muzan, you haven't been watching enough anime. Let's start by understanding the monster we're talking about. Muzan Kibutsuji is the first demon, the original. He's not just strong, he's a walking apocalypse. He can regenerate instantly from almost anything. He can split his body into thousands of pieces. He has multiple hearts and brains spread throughout his form. He can rewrite his cells, control his blood like a virus, and kill with a touch. And most terrifying of all, he hides, he manipulates, he outlives entire generations while never being seen. Killing Muzan isn't just about brute force, it's about finding him, surviving him, and killing him before the sun rises. So, who could do it? Let's start with a familiar face. Gojo Saturo, with his limitless and 6 eyes, is built for annihilation. His hollow purple erases matter at an atomic level. His domain expansion paralyzes enemies with infinite information. Muzan, he thrives on regeneration. He multiplies his brains and hearts, but Gojo's power doesn't care what you have. He doesn't slash, he doesn't stab, he obliterates. Even Muzan can't heal from something that erases him from existence. And if he tries to run, Gojo's speed and spatial manipulation trap him like a mouse in a cage. Muzan might think he's a god, but Kaguya is literally a goddess. She controls gravity, dimensions, time-space portals, and disintegrating bone attacks that kill on a molecular level. Her all-killing ash bones don't just injure, they erase you completely. Muzan can dodge a Nichiren blade, but dimensional death spears coming from every angle? No amount of regeneration saves you when there's nothing left to regenerate from. Muzan couldn't even touch her, let alone survive her. This one's psychological, terrifyingly so. Eren, with the full power of the founding titan, can rewrite the biology of entire civilizations. He could eliminate Muzan's demon traits before the fight even starts. You think Muzan can hide? Eren can march titans across the planet and flatten cities to dust. He wouldn't kill Muzan in battle. He'd crush the country Muzan is hiding in. And if he uses the founding power to reprogram every living being to reject demon blood, then Muzan is erased from the food chain, a virus with no host. Eren doesn't fight you, he rewrites the world around you until you can survive. Let's go deeper, metaphysical. Madoka in her final form transcends space, time, and casualty. She becomes a literal law of the universe, rewriting fate across every timeline to remove suffering from magical girls. You know what that means? If Muzan's existence causes suffering, Madoka can retroactively erase him from all of history. Not just kill him, unmake him. He was never born, he's never turned. Demons, they were a bad dream. The irony here is perfect. The king of vampires versus the king of demons. But Alakard is no ordinary monster. He's died thousands of times. He contains the souls of everyone he's ever consumed. And once he unlocks Schrodinger's power, he becomes quantum, existing everywhere and nowhere at once. You can't kill what's not localized. You can't outrun what is literally omnipresent. Muzan would try to infect him, overwhelm him, but Alakard would consume him instead, and trap him as one more voice among his infinite internal army. Let's be real, if you put Saitama in Demon Slayer universe, it's not a fight, it's a commercial break. He doesn't need a Nichiren blade, he doesn't need poison, he punches once, that's it, game over. Muzan splits into 1,000 pieces? Saitama turns the planet into dust just to be sure. You can't out-heal someone who doesn't care you exist. Rimmeru is the answer to what happens when a slime becomes a god. He has predator multiversal level magic, soul consumption, and regeneration nullification. Yes, a literal counter to regenerative beings. If Muzan tries to split or flee, Rimmeru absorbs every particle of his body, soul, and technique. And once that happens, Muzan becomes an ability. One more power on Rimmeru's ever-growing skill list. Zeno is the reset button for existence. He doesn't fight, he erases timelines. You think Muzan is hard to kill? Zeno would delete the entire reality Muzan's in. No hesitation, no survival, no mercy. You don't regenerate from a missing dimension. Remember, Muzan is a manipulator, but Lelouch, he's the manipulator's final boss. All it takes is one order from his Gias: kill yourself. And Muzan obeys, because even if his body resists, his mind is broken. He can't think his way around it, he can't delay, he becomes his own executioner, and for the first time, Muzan's final words aren't screamed in rage, they're whispered by his own lips. At high noon, Asenor becomes the One, a being so radiant, so impossibly powerful, even gods can't touch him. He doesn't just fight with strength, he becomes sunlight incarnate. And Muzan, he dies in sunlight. Asenor wouldn't even draw his weapon. He'd stand there, arms crossed, and Muzan would burn alive from proximity. Regenerate this, Demon King. Truth doesn't punch, it doesn't cut, it doesn't chase. It simply enforces one law: equivalent exchange. If you defy the natural order, you will be taken. And Muzan has spent centuries cheating death, extending his life, consuming innocent lives. Truth would take everything. Not in anger, not in cruelty, just as balance, just as truth. Ichigo is the hybrid of hybrids. Shinigami, hollow, Quincy, human, god-tier soul slayer. He cuts through dimensions, time loops, and reality-bending enemies. Muzan's body slashed, his soul purified, his legacy erased in a final swing. Ichigo doesn't just fight evil, he cleanses it. You see, Muzan represents something deeper than power. He is fear, ego, control. He cannot bear to be surpassed, even by his own creations. That's why he hides. That's why he manipulates. But here's the truth. Muzan isn't strong because he's unkillable. He's strong because no one ever tried hard enough. The moment someone does, the moment someone walks in with purpose, clarity, and no fear of death, he falls. Not because he's weak, but because he's alone. Let's end it with a poetic twist. What if the one to kill Muzan is the one he couldn't control? Nezuko, the girl he turned, the demon who resisted his blood, the sibling he couldn't break. Give her full control, sunlight resistance, complete transformation. Let her walk toward him, silent, burning, radiant with the very thing he hates. Let her end it, not with rage, but with peace, with finality. Let the cure be born from the disease. Muzan is terrifying, but not because he's the strongest, because he pretends to be. He hides behind immortality like it's a throne, but thrones can be shattered, gods can be humbled, and monsters, they bleed like anyone else. Every name on this list, they don't just kill Muzan, they expose him for what he really is. A sacred man, a desperate king, a beast running from the light. And no matter how far you run, the sun always rises.